Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we going to see how to host a VPN for your own, technically for free. So right now the VPNs in the market, either they offer one of the restricted areas where you only can use that with slow speed, which are the free one. Okay, but the paid ones are offering way too high features and all different kind of features. Yeah, but got to pay them. But in this video, you got to see a VPN setup which offers high speed, and wherever you want, you can connect with it. Technically, host wherever the regions like United States, Germany, France, Singapore. So in these regions, you can host them, and there are multiple regions as well. And these are the main one if you want, and technically use it for free. So you got 750 hours of free trial. So whenever you want, you can run this server up and use a WireGuard VPN with your phone, laptop, whatever the device that you are using. So let's get started with this video and let's see how to set up a VPN for free. So for that, you gotta need a AWS account and a WireGuard protocol that we are using here. So right now, I'm using a Ubuntu image, which is of instance type T2 micro, and which is hosted in United States and Virginia, which is of US Eastern region. Okay. So here I have a documentation, so which I will be using for setting up the whole WireGuard thing. So I'll be tagging this documentation in a description. If you want, you can use this, or you can just follow the video. So before starting with the video, I got to do the update, sudo apt update. I need to update my Ubuntu server so that I can install the packages which are available. So the by default, AWS offers the base image of Ubuntu, which doesn't have much of the packages. So to have everything, the environment to work properly, I need to do sudo apt update. So next, I got to install WireGuard. So sudo apt install WireGuard-y is the command by which we have gonna install WireGuard inside your server. So the WireGuard is installed now. We're going to check which version of WireGuard has been installed. For that, you got to do is sudo wg-version. Great. So after doing this thing, now you have to create a private key and public key for the WireGuard. So we'll do that by going inside the directory called /etc/WireGuard. So okay, cd/etc WireGuard. Oh, I forgot to mention the sorry. WireGuard. Okay, I don't have the permission to enter that directory. So I'll change myself from being Ubuntu to root. For that, you got to do sudo su and now your root. Let's again do the same command cd/etc/WireGuard. Yeah, right now I'm set this directory and let's create the private key and the public key. So I'll be using sudo WireGuard Genki sudo t. This /etc WireGuard server private dot key is a key which will be generated now to generate the private key. Right now that key will be showing up here after generating. So for that private key, I need a public key. So I'll be doing this thing. So this command will create a public key for that private key. Okay. So right now I have a private key and public key, which I'll be using for the WireGuard. Next, we have the keys. So with the keys now comes the part where I should be writing the configuration file for the WireGuard. So this configuration file describes how this WireGuard VPN is configured. So as you can see, this is the configuration that actually goes inside a file called wg0.conf, which describes how this WireGuard is configured. So in this part, we have address, save config, private key, post up, post down, pre down, listen ports. These are some things which are tells what are the things that WireGuard holds for. So here 10 or 8.0.1/24 means this is the one of the private key, a private IP of the WireGuard VPN, but /24 is written here so that I can allocate around 255 IPs for my client. So I can allocate literally 255 client with a different private IP so that they can use this WireGuard VPN. So save config is to save the whole config, and the private key of the WireGuard which I just generated over here. And then these are the some things that I mentioned here, so that whenever the WireGuard is active, so it got to use the network type of ENX0, WG0 is what the WireGuard config is, and to update the IP tables with the network type. So these are something, and when the WireGuard is not running, it is like to go back to whatever the previous default condition it was using earlier, and the listen port is of the WireGuard which will be using to connect with the client. So that will be of UDP connection. We'll come to that later. So peer is the one where the client's configurations are written. So here the public key written over here is the client key, public key, and the allowed IP is 0.2. I have allocated one private IP to my client. Here as you can see, it is one for the WireGuard and two for this particular client, and you can allocate the same way till for 255 clients. Yeah, when you do /32, it will be of this particular only. Okay, so where were we? So where were we? Okay, now creating the WireGuard conf. So let's create a WireGuard conf with this command. So I need to paste this whole thing inside WireGuard configuration. So enter. Okay. Before that, I need to delete the pre-existing private and public key. So right now I have my server's private key. I'll just cat it and edit the WireGuard configuration. So here I'll be deleting this part and pasting my new private key. And in this interface, I'll keep everything as same. So not most of the things are to be needed to be edited, because only the public key and private keys are the thing that has to be taken care of. You guys, if you are trying to mimic the same, just choose the private keys and the public key, and it should work fine. So next, I'll be creating the private keys and the public key for the client. So right now I don't have those keys. As you can see here, I just have the server's private and public key with the WireGuard conf. With this command, I should be able to create a private key for the client. So the private key for the client has been created, and I'll create a public key for that private key. There is a lot of private, public keys going on in this video. I'm sure you guys are also feel like, oh, what is this? But still, yeah, I got to do this. Okay, so yeah, so I have created the public and private keys for the client as well. So I need to paste the key of client, which is public key, inside the WireGuard configuration. So let's do cat client public key. So this is the public key of the client which I'll be pasting or I'll be updating in Conf. Sorry guys for mention nano. Okay. Yeah. So here the public key of the client has to be updated. Okay. So the new public key of the client has been updated. Yeah, we can do cat wg0. So we can see this is the whole configuration of my WireGuard service. So now the main parts are done. So okay. If you want me to explain the client configuration as well, it goes the same way. But here the only thing there is a difference is about the endpoint. So as you can see here, this is the endpoint of my server. Here, this is the public IP of my WireGuard server, and this is the port where WireGuard is listening to. This is the public key of the WireGuard server, and this is the private key of the client. So right now we have created the configuration for WireGuard, but we need to create a configuration file for client as well, so that client can use it and get connected with the WireGuard server. So let's do that. Let's create a configuration for client. So right now, so I'll create a WireGuard conf for here. So sorry, the client conf here. I'll just copy these lines, paste it. Okay. So right now here I need to update the public IP first. Then again, update the private key and public key. So this is a public IP of the WireGuard server. I'll just update it here first. Okay. So now all we need to do is to change the public key and the private key. Okay. This is what allowed IPs means is you can literally use the public IP of the WireGuard server so that you can like do the copycat kind of thing. Like when you are accessing the content on the internet, you are not using your public IP, but instead you will be using the public IP of the WireGuard. So I have written this whole allowed IPs as 0.0.0.0, which is called full tunneling. There is a half tunneling. There are multiple concepts, but we are not uh, concerned with that. We are not going that deep because we are here only for the reason to use WireGuard for free and to use via VPN to access the content whatever we want on the internet. Okay, now let's change this private key. First we got to delete it. Okay. What was the client's private key? Okay. Private key. Okay, this is a client's private key. I need to use this and I need a WireGuard public key as well. So that will be server public key. Okay. So I have a private key of the server or client. I'll just copy it again. I don't know whether I copied or not. I forgot. So this is the private key. Save it. And need to delete this part I forgot last time. So this is the server's public key, which I need to write it here in PS. Okay. Yeah. So the client configuration is done. Now got to see was whether everything is correct. So persistent alive is of use, so that keep alive is used, so that the WiGuard will be active in your client. Every 15 seconds it will ping you a WiGuard server so that the connection will be stable. So that's the thing. Now the client configuration is done and the WiGuard configuration is also done. So now let's move ahead and see what we're going to do. Okay, now I need to restart the WiGuard server in WiGuard's whatever the server this server. So WiGuard is a service here, so I need to restart that service. For that, I'll use this command. First, I'll start it, then I'll enable it, then I'll check for the status if it's working or not. So yeah, let's see if the status shows active or not. Yeah, great. So the WiGuard is active now. Let's see what does it show. Okay, so the WiGuard is active and it's showing the whatever the configuration it is using right now. So now doing this, we have to enable the UFW. So for that, first I need to check whether the UFW is active or not. UFW is like the firewall, which is there in Ubuntu. So let's check what is the status. If it is disabled, okay, it is inactive. I should make it active and use it. So let's do this command, which will allow port 22 and also enable the UFW. So okay, so I did allow 22 port because for SSH I need that port, and the UDP is the protocol that is used by WiGuard to connect with the client. So I'm updating that particular uh, rule as well. So OpenSSH is also a thing which is related to SSH, which we do with port 22. For that also I need to enable the whole things. So just do this and let's reload the UFW. Okay, so right now UFW should be active. Yeah. So UFW is active and these are the rules that I have just modified, and yeah, we are good to go, I guess. So these are some next level things that you will be updating the IP tables, but I don't think that's a not with the IP6 is necessary, but for the IPv4 it's very necessary to update the IPv4 forwarding. So the WiGuard will use that, as we are concerned with only IPv4. So we're going to use this one, and we won't be using IPv6. I don't have IPv6 right now, so guys, so I just be using this IPv4. Okay, let's see if the updated thing is taken care of. Yes, the rule has been updated. These things are I have written already in the WireGuard configuration, so I won't update manually again. After making this whole configuration, now I have to enable the security groups to have incoming rules to be set for UTP protocol. That is by editing here, add a rule, custom UDP, and the port number is 5151820. So anybody who has a configuration file for this WireGuard server should be able to connect with the WireGuard which is running in this whole server. So have kept the source reach 2000. You can change it to the particular IP by whitelisting to your own IP which you will be using, but I kept it as 0.0.0/0. This should work fine. So yeah, that's the whole thing that we have to be doing. But now, to see whether if it's actually working, I want to connect to this Wired server, right? So this is a configuration. I just copy it, and I have this WireGuard installed up here. If you want to install WireGuard in your one of your Mac, so just go to App Store. You should able to find WireGuard here. So WireGuard. So just install the WireGuard from this App Store and open this thing. Right now I have up here, so I'll just do manage tunnel. Okay, once again. Okay. So I'll just create add a empty tunnel. Okay. Add empty tunnel. So I'll just keep the name as new VPN. So here I would be pasting this whole thing which I have copied from the server, from this Vigor server, and save. So this is a new thing that new configuration, the client configuration which I got from Vigor. So before that, let's see what is our IP. So what's my IP? Okay. Right now I'm not connected to VPN. So as you can see, this is my public IP of my router. So let's see what will be my IP. Okay, the connection has been established with the WireGuard server. Let's check if it's working. I got to open the terminal. Remind me later. Okay. Uh, okay. We'll see the what's my IP again. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, as you can see, my IP has been changed to 18.234.190.231. So which is my IP listed over here. So right now I'm literally the WireGuard server. As a client I had a public IP of my router now which has been changed to this IP. So let's disconnect this WireGuard, deactivate, and refresh the thing again. Okay, back to the public IP of my router. So yeah, guys, that's how we set up this whole WireGuard server. And now I am using this server to use anything for myself. And as you can see here, this is the country is also showing as United States region Virginia, which is listed here as well. Yeah, I think that's how we end up this video now. I mean, now you guys know how to use this WireGuard server for yourself. Just go and host a server in AWS. Keep in mind that it has to be of a smaller instance. AWS offers you 750 hours of free trial for the server, which is of T2 Micro or something. T2 Nano, T2 Micro. I'm not sure, but it offers the same. Yeah. So you can use the VPN literally for free. So don't forget to turn off the server when you are not using. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, guys, thank you for following up with this video, and we are done. Thank you.